Alright everybody, in this lesson we're going to take a look at a few definitions that are important to have success in this unit. So we're looking at the parts of a circle. So let's take a look at the arc of a circle first. The arc of a circle, as we can see right here, is a portion of the circumference. And the circumference, of course, is the perimeter of the circle, or the distance around. So if we think about the circumference, it's as if we were to measure the distance around this circle. Now, the arc is a portion of that circumference, and in this case there's an example of an arc right there. A chord, on the other hand, is a line segment with both endpoints on a circle. So a chord, this would be an example of a chord right here. So if we go through right here, there's our chord, and maybe I'll take another color just to make that a little bit easier to see. There's an example of a chord. If I was to draw another one, I could go from one edge of the circle to the other edge of the circle without going through the middle, and we call that a chord. A central angle is an angle formed by two radii of a circle. Here is our central angle in this example, and the reason it's our central angle is here is our radii, the radius, and there's another radius coming from the center, and it's a central angle because it goes through the center point. An inscribed angle is an angle formed by two short chords that share a common endpoint. They very similar to a central angle, except that it does not go through the center, does not go through center. So I'll change colors. An example of our inscribed angle is right here and right here. An inscribed angle formed by two chords, chord number 1, chord number 2, that share a common endpoint. And there's our common endpoint right there. Now, some other definitions that we may have learned in grade 6, 7, or 8. We'll take a look at 3, and they are the radius, which we discussed quickly upstairs. A radius comes from the edge of the circle and goes to the center. It's the distance from the center of the edge of a circle. It's half of the circle's diameter, and the radius is half of the diameter. Now the diameter, on the other hand, goes from one edge of the circle to the other, but must go through center. It is the longest distance through a circle, and it is always twice that of what the radius is. Make that x. So if I was to say that the radius is 5 centimeters, then our diameter will be 10. And we could go vice versa. If we notice that our diameter was 10, then of course our radius would be 5. Now circumference is the linear distance around the outside of a circle. So as stated earlier, the circumference goes all the way around the circle, and instead of calling that perimeter, we call that circumference when we're talking about a circle. And to figure that out, we would determine what pi multiplied by r squared is. So pi is always 3.14. We multiply that by the radius squared. The radius in this case is 5, so we would square that. And to find the circumference of this circle, we would go 3.14 times 25, and that would be what our circumference is. I hope you found this helpful. We took a quick look at some important definitions. They include circumference, diameter, radius, the difference between an inscribed angle, a central angle, a chord, and the arc of a circle. All important definitions that we'll need to understand. Thank you.